we brought the top football gloves on the market to our lab to put them through a gauntlet of tests to help you decide which gloves to buy in 2024.
So here are the 7 gloves we're putting to the test. We've got the Nike VaporJet 7.0s, the Under Armour Women's F8 football gloves, the Massive all-season receiver gloves, the Phenom Elite VSP4 Pro Label Edition, the Invictus Armis 3.0, the Grip Boost Stealth 5.0s, and finally the NXTRND G1s.
We're putting each of these gloves through 5 different tests. First, we'll have the design and look test, then we'll have the fit and feel test, the catching test, the all-weather test, and finally the dirt test. All right, first up we have the look and design test. This one, we're gonna rank from our favorite look and design to our least favorite. I think we should do a 3, 2, 1, grab your favorite.
Oh, okay, all right, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that makes sense to me because you're just a Nike guy.
These are my classics. I've worn, I think, maybe one Under Armour glove, and then ever since then I've been wearing Nike ever since. It's just a nice, clean, minimal look to it that I really enjoy.
That's why I picked these, actually. I really also like a minimal look. I really like that there's branding, but it's white on white. I like the white on white.
Normally, I don't like big branding, big logos, but they've done it in sort of a clever way where it's not just as obnoxious as like NXTRND, but it's a little more subtle and baked in.
All right, so let's put them over on the side.
Up over here.
You can put them here. Okay.
Second favorite.
Second favorite.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, we are not on the same page at all.
That's okay.
Now, what I was gonna say is I love this part. Obviously, Tyreek Hill has got his peace sign, cheetah stuff. But the back of it, I can't get over the fact that it looks just like a golf glove.
I thought it looked like a soccer goalie glove. But yeah, maybe the same thing. I agree, but I just love this so much. It's such a fun detail that I felt like that deserved a little bit of a higher ranking.
It's very creative, and I love that part a lot. They're just clean and minimal. Again, I don't like a lot of branding in general, but I do like textures and different little designs, and this is like subtle enough. It just looks really clean, really light. I just like the look of it overall.
Okay, so we can put those
up there.
All right, next.
Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. All right, these are super clean. I really like them. The backside, I mean, I know that there's like an element of design, but to me, it just looks like they're already a little bit dirty.
It kind of looks like a kitchen countertop. It's like gloves for the field and for the kitchen kind of thing. The only thing that's weird to me is this eye is kind of just like, I don't know, like I feel like someone was just using Photoshop or Canva or like, oh, let's just put an eye right on top of the glove. It just seems like a little bit random placement. Like their brand name is Invictus. Like it would have been cool maybe if there was like a smaller like Invictus here or Invictus on the pinky part, but it just looks kind of random of like an eye smack in the middle. I
will say I really like the pop of color on the inside.
That's a nice detail
it's a really
for sure.
Nice detail.
And overall, I can tell that this is just going to be a really comfortable glove as well.
I almost picked it early because of how comfortable I can tell they're going to be, but that's the next step, so I'm going to wait. But okay, so those are here. All right.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Why you snag those for me? Oh my gosh.
Don't mind me. I got excited because Under Armour are my go-to. I actually wear Under Armour typically, and this. I typically wear the all white, and I almost wonder if I would have ranked them higher if we put the all white in.
That's exactly what I was going to say about Massive. If these were all white, I think I would have picked these up quicker.
Yeah.
But something about it being not like the colors being just not seamless kind of threw me off a little bit.
And to me, I don't know why, but like the matte finish bothers me.
It really threw me off initially. I mean, they do have some features that are supposed to make these water repellent that we'll talk about later that I think will help with that. But initially I was like, these aren't sticky at all.
Not sticky,
so we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, Under Armour, I mean, it's just like kind of too much going on, I think. But they're also, like when they're all white, it's sleeker and it's cleaner. So I've always been an Under Armour gloves fan. But yeah, these fell toward the bottom for me.
Yeah.
But I still put them here.
And now what I will say though is that these two gloves are actually have a women's specific fit. So that should honestly bump them up higher on the list since you have been relying on youth sizes for quite a long time. So it's nice to have a little bit more of a tailored fit for your hands.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. So this ended up being sort of our paired ranking.
I say let's give these 10s, let's give these 9s, let's give Invictus 8, and these 2 7s.
Okay, that seems fair.
Does that seem fair?
That seems really fair.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's kind of how we ranked them. And I agree with like Nike being at the top, near the top. Like that probably would have been my second.
Yeah.
That one probably would have been my third. So it's like I pretty much agree with
Yeah.
what you ranked.
And honestly,
them as well.
if these were all white, I bet they would be more like here.
I know. So should we give those all 8s? Knocking down to a 7 feels like I wouldn't call those a 7 out of 10. I still like the design.
Exactly. Yeah.
I say let's give 10, 9, 8.
10, 9, 8. That feels more appropriate.
Good. That feels good.
So to recap, the Nike Vapor Jets, the NXTRND G1s are going to be a 10. The Phenom Elite, the Grip Boosts are going to be at a 9. And then finally the Invictus, Under Armour, and Massivs are at an 8 for the look and design portion of our testing.
Next up is the fit and feel test. This one is really important to me. I need my gloves to feel comfortable. I need them to not be distracting. If there's like, I don't know, if they feel loose in certain areas, it really distracts me. I feel like you're chiller about it.
I'm a little more go with the flow, but this is, again, another subjective test because you might not like the length of one of them. You might not like the webbing in between your fingers for another, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's get started right away. So, and I have really small hands, so I have to go with youth gloves, except for, we mentioned this last time, but the Massive and Under Armour both came out with women's size gloves, which is awesome because a lot of women do play football, so all of these gloves should come in women's sizes. Maybe that's coming in the future.
All right, right off the bat, this one looks a little big. Would you say so?
No, because my fingers are right up against the edge. What feels awkward to me is that it feels loose in the wrist.
So it doesn't feel like as secure.
It doesn't feel, yeah, like I wanna like tighten this more, but I actually can't.
Right, yeah. I can see it like bunching up basically at the bottom there.
Yeah, I really don't, so I don't like the wrist portion, and I do have skinny wrists, so for some people they might not want it to be super snug, but I wish it had the ability to get tighter.
To get a little tighter, yeah.
But on the fingers it feels really good, like fits really well
What
in
are you
the webbing.
looking for?
I want to be able to move without too much like bunching, or like I don't want to feel like my fingers are sliding around in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Which that feels good. Yeah, the main thing for me is like the back. I don't like the back of it. I don't like this part.
All right, so what would you rank this then?
I would give this an 8. Let's go with Grip Boost next, just because it was right in front of me. Something that I was thinking about was like ease of putting them on. This was a little bit clunky to get on, to be honest. I really like this part. I like where it hits on my wrist.
It's kind of like tapered almost.
Yeah,
it's kind of a cool look.
It feels comfy. I really like that part. Again though, it's like the fact that it's so high up here, it was kind of similar to the Nike. I don't like it. I would rather it be more straight across here, which I guess defeats the purpose.
It seems like they're trying to account for this bone right here, like this little like notch, which is kind of interesting.
Okay, I could see that. I don't think I could go a size up because my fingers do hit right up against it, but it just feels a little restricting.
A little bit restrictive, yeah.
Yeah, I like them a little bit better than the Nikes. I would give these an 8.5.
8.5, okay, cool.
All right, let's go next trend. These were my top design. I liked how these look.
I mean, they look sleek.
They're so sleek. Right away, easy to put on. That feels nice.
That material on the back is nice.
It's really nice.
It looks like this like Lycra material.
Yeah, it's like very breathable. I really like the straps a lot better. That's like my favorite wrist strap so far. It feels a little bit like an oven mitt. see how like
it bunches a lot.
It bunches a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not gonna like that for the catching, but we'll see. Because of the wrist part, that gives it a little bit of a boost, and then this part gives it a little bit of downgrade. So I think I'm gonna go 8.
8, yeah. I think that makes sense.
Let's go with my tried and true Under Armour.
Tried and true.
I don't know if it's just because I'm used to these, but I love the feel of these.
It just feels right.
It feels right, and I could be totally biased.
Right
these
here.
are just a 10. I love these.
It fits like a glove.
It fits like a glove.
It fits your dainty wrists. It's
I don't know
tight.
if it's just.
It doesn't bunch.
I
mean, honestly, I could tell that looks
this
and
is the
feels
glove for
good.
me.
Yeah.
So if you have dainty wrists like me, try these. These are, I love them. They're a 10 for me.
10, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What do we got?
Phenom Elite.
Vapor Stick. It's back to feeling a little bit
oven-mitty?
Bunchy, a little oven-mitty, even a little bit too much room in the fingers. Even though this is the same sizing that we've gone with everything else, maybe you'd have to size down a little bit because it's way too big.
It's
actually,
a little bulky,
feel where my finger is there.
Okay, yeah. So it might be an unfair assessment.
It might be a fit issue. So I would give this an 8.5, to be honest, because I feel like if they're slightly smaller,
it would feel good.
It would feel good, and the wrist is better than these two. 8.5.
Cool. 8.5. All right, last two.
Okay, Massive. Another women's specific sizing.
And a huge proponent for flag football specifically, which is
these are
okay.
Nice. These are surprising me because I wasn't a fan of the look as much, but okay, a little tight to get on.
It fits around the wrist.
But look at that around the wrist, and it comes. I like how that comes down a little bit, but it's flexible.
What is the purpose for that?
I don't know, but it feels
more secure.
Very secure. These again feel very similar to the
Under
Armour.
Honestly.
They feel really good. One thing I will say is they're a little stiff in the fingers.
A little stiff, yeah.
So I feel like, not that you need to like really bend your fingers too much, but that's the only downfall of these. Otherwise, they feel really good.
Do you think they would break in?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give these a 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, last one, Invictus. Let's see, these I already feel like are gonna be so good. Oh, they're a little loose in the wrist.
Oh, recurring theme.
I mean, obviously that's just a me thing, problem. But again, they have the ability to go tighter. It's just a little bit clunky to do it. Actually, yeah, these are pretty good. Whew,
Okay.
I love how light
Flexible,
they feel.
yeah.
They're super flexible, super airy
Breathable.
on the back. Breathable is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it is perforated.
It's so nice.
This is probably one of those like great for warm weather, maybe a little bit tougher
Yeah.
for those colder climates.
Actually, a very good point. When we're playing in the winter, I put like hot hands in. Although the flexibility would be good, I could put a little hot hands pack in there, but it might just, the air might just come in anyway. But yeah, I actually really like the feel of these. I would give these a 9.5.
9.5, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now to recap, we've got the Under Armour F8s at a 10. We've got Massive and Invictus at a 9.5. We've got Grip Boost and Phenom Elite at an 8.5. And then finally, Nike and NXTRND at an 8.
All right, now we're finally getting into the action. We're gonna do the catch test. I have all my gloves ready and we're gonna catch some footballs.
So to make this test as scientific as possible, we want to make the throws uniform, which is why we've got the jugs machine here to make sure each throw is perfectly accurate and precise.
We're gonna do 4 different types of catches with each glove. We're gonna do a couple catches straight on, to the side, to the other side, and then a one-handed grab. We're gonna start out with the Invictus, so let's see how it goes. Okay,
Feels
those felt
good?
I
Okay.
will say when I first like clapped them together, it feels like no stick. So I was
Interesting.
I was nervous, but so far so good. I felt a little slippery. Okay, so I liked them, they felt good. They do feel a little bit slick, so I am gonna spit on them and try one more catch because sometimes a little bit of spit helps to get them a little bit tackier, and sometimes you just have to do that a couple times before they really get their tackiness.
How does it feel after you spit and kind of bring them together?
It's still not as tacky as I would like.
Okay,
So-
all right, let's try it out.
It felt better for sure in the catch, but I will still say it like almost like a confidence thing. I don't feel that tackiness when I clap them together, so I'm gonna give them between an 8.5 and a 9. I'm gonna give them a 9 because they feel really nice. All the catches felt solid. Let's go with a 9. All right, next up, Nike. These are Jason's go-to. To keep it all uniform, I am gonna spit on each of them and give them a little tackiness before we get into it. So I've already done that, and now let's get into the tests. These feel nice.
Okay, okay.
Ooh, yeah, that felt good. Okay,
All right.
nice. Let's go one hand.
One-hander.
Okay. These pleasantly surprised me because I didn't like the feel when we were just like trying them on at the table, but as I got catching, like everything felt really solid. Grippiness felt really good. I'm gonna give them a 9.5. All right, next up, let's go Under Armour. We went with Jason's go-to, so let's go to my go-tos and let's get right into it. I already spit on them, let's go.
That one came out wobbly too.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so solid. I feel a little bit bad. I feel like I'm almost biased because I've been using these for a long time, but I have 0 complaints, so I gotta go 10. I'm not surprised by that. So they're sticky, they feel good in terms of like tackiness, but they feel really stiff. And I feel like for a one-handed catch, I really have to like grip with my fingers, and I felt like I had a hard time doing that. So if we're going based off of the one-handed catch, I'm gonna knock it down a little bit. Otherwise, the regular catches felt really good. So let's go 8.5 for these. Woo! Really sticky right off the bat, so that's a good sign. I like that. Whoa, it's like sticking to my glove. Woo. I'm just gonna stick it out like this and see if it sticks. Yeah, okay. Really interesting because I did not like the feel of these, or fit and feel of these very much, but they're very sticky. I love the tackiness of them. I'm going 9.5. Okay, overall these felt really good. No complaints really. Again, this is kind of goes into fit and feel, but the back feels really bulky to me. So like They just feel a little bit uncomfortable, I would say, while catching, but the catching ability was good. So let's go 8.5 for these. All right, cool. These were good.
I feel like you just had no reaction. It was like, okay, this is a glove.
They felt, which I guess is good. Like they were comfortable, they were fine. I didn't feel like, ooh, like every time I caught it, I didn't feel like there was that like boost of extra grip or anything like that. So I'm gonna go 8.5 for these as well.
All right, so to recap things, no surprise here, we've got the Under Armour scored at a 10. And then for 9.5, we've got the Nike Vapor Jets and Phenom Elites. And then scoring a 9 is the Invictus Armis. And the 8.5s, we've got NXTRND G1s, we've got the Massov ALLSZNs, and we've got the Grip Boost Stealth 5.0s.
Yeah, they were all good, but there were just some like minor things here and there that made them not 10s, except for one.
All right, next one is gonna be super interesting. It's gonna be the all-weather test, our rain test, to see how the gloves stand up with water.
So imagine it's raining. A lot of times during rain games, I'll take my gloves off, but if there are any gloves that feel good in the water, then obviously that will make a difference in a rain game. So let's see how we do. I'm gonna dip them in water, shake them off, but I'm not gonna wipe them down, and get right into it. Oh, okay. Massov is known for
hydrophobic material.
Oh, very specific hydrophobic material, being water resistant. That was very surprising because when I rubbed them together, I was like, ooh, they're slippery, but they feel good on the ball. So 10 for the water test for Massov. That was pretty good. I mean, that wasn't bad. I definitely had to think a little bit more about it. Like it felt a little bit slipperier in the hands, but not as sticky as Massov. I'll give these a 9. Not as good as the last two, a little bit slippery for the Under Armour. I always take my Under Armour gloves off when I'm in rain games, so that kind of tells me something. I would give these an 8 for water. Didn't like that very much. That felt very slippery.
I always take my Nikes off, even if there's like a little droplet of water on them.
Yeah, that felt the most slippery so far. I'm gonna have to, sorry Nike, I'm gonna go 7.5. 9. It was good. I was trying to like, I think it's a 9. I think it's a 9. It's definitely, it didn't feel slippery. It just didn't feel as like, as some of the top ones so far, but I think a 9, yeah. They're slippery. When I first took them out of the bucket, they were the only ones that had like water beads all over, which made me very nervous. It was pretty slippery. I'm gonna go, they were still not quite as bad as Nike, so I'm gonna go 8. Not bad. These are pretty good. These were the very sticky ones when they weren't wet. They're still pretty good, even in the wetness. I thought they maybe would lose their stick, but I'm gonna give these a 9 as well.
All right, so to recap, we've got Massov's hydrophobic material shining through with a score of a 10. Then we've got the Phenom Elite, we've got the Invictus and the Grip Boost scoring a 9. We've got the Under Armour as well as the NXTRND scoring an 8. And then to finish things off, we've got the Nike Vapor Jet at a 7.5.
Yeah, those were the ones that were very clearly not very good in water, but I'm sorry. But my favorite weren't great either. So there's, you know, pros and cons. Yeah. I think things are starting to even out in the wash. So let's get to the final test. Last up, we have the dirt test. Sometimes you are in a game time scenario where you've just dove for a ball or landed in the mud, and then you have to quickly get to the line because things are moving fast, and you need to be able to quickly get your gloves, you know, good enough to catch the next ball. And so we're actually going to rub them in dirt. I'm going to do a quick spit and rub off, and then we're going to try to catch a ball and see how everybody holds up. That felt great. I was able to, actually, they were really dirty, and by the time I spit and wiped, they got pretty clean, which is really good. The catch felt clean, so I'm gonna give these a 9.5. That felt good. That was really nice. I'm very pleasantly surprised by the Nikes because they didn't hold up to the water test, but they definitely held up to the dirt test. They got nice and sticky right after being really dirty, so 10, no problems. That wasn't bad. Didn't feel as like solid as the Nikes, which I gave a good ranking. I'm gonna give that an 8.5. Good. that felt good.
Solid?
Yeah, solid. Still pretty sticky, actually, even though they look dirty, they're still pretty dirty. So I'm gonna go 9. Pretty good. I feel like they've all been actually holding up pretty well. Yeah, that felt nice. Didn't feel slippery. Wiped pretty clean. So I'm gonna go 9 for these as well.
That actually looks the cleanest I've seen when you revealed them.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It was almost like when I put them in the dirt, it didn't like stick to it as much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So.
All right, 9. The old standby.
The old standby. And I double dipped in the mud because I felt like they didn't get that dirty. And they still kind of came clean and felt really good catching wise. So 9.5. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I got some dirt in my mouth. You know it's real. Yeah, pretty good. Doesn't feel slippery once I wiped it off. I would give these a 9.
And the winner is?
Under Armour, and I was trying to be harsh on them, but I just love these gloves. They really are really good. I never see them in like the top gloves, so maybe it's like very personal bias.
Yeah, I mean, these are all very subjective, obviously.
And they only won by 0.5 points, so it was actually really, really close.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think what we decided is all gloves are going to be good.
Yeah.
They're going to be helpful. They're going to give you an extra edge. I think really what it comes down to is just overall fit, feel, comfort, right at the end of the day. I feel like even with this and the Invictus, the scores seemed a little bit boosted because you're like, they just feel good.
Yeah.
You feel confident.
Yeah.
So again, you look good, you play good, you feel good, you know, so all those things come into play.
Ultimately, like if you're petite, if you have small hands and thin wrists, like maybe Under Armour Invictus, those are good ones for you. If you are a little bit, have like a thicker wrist, maybe some of the ones that I thought were like Nike, you like Nike, you have a thicker wrist than me. Maybe that works for people who are a little bit bigger. So it really depends on what works for you, but we wanted to put them all through all the tests because I didn't want to just be like biased toward my favorite gloves because they're the gloves I wear. I really wanted to see how they held up in different conditions.
Yeah.
And ultimately, all of them were very, very close.
And from a third-party perspective, for me, I feel like these and the Invictus were definitely like your most comfortable, but the Massov stood out for the water aspect.
For sure, yeah.
The Phenom Elites stood out in terms of just like overall stickiness, which can lead to a big boost of confidence if you're like in the huddle and you're kind of just like slapping them together. You're like, okay, I got this.
What movie is it?
Oh, the Little Giants?
Little Giants,
yeah.
where they put the glue. Ready? Go! It did feel that sticky. It was really a lot. Yeah.
And then the other ones, grip boost. I mean, just to have that little peace sign there, it's kind of cool too. So there's just some different attributes that you want to think about. So hopefully this non-biased review helped you to decide which gloves are going to be the best for you and your individual scenario.